Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is May 23rd, 2024, and we are getting into the volume 210 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, as I mentioned in every video on this channel, I'm going to mention it here, I'm not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question from Josephine Solomon 9018. Hi sir, my priority date is December 16, 2019 and I'm F2A category. Is my priority date is current? Alright, Josephine, thank you very much for your question. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin, F2A. I'm going to look at all chargeability area, but unless you are from one of the 4 countries that has separate chargeability area like China, India, Mexico, Philippines, you will be looking at the corresponding columns. But I'm going to look at all chargeability area, and for all chargeability currently it is, looks like F2A is on November 21st and you are December 2019. So yes, let me see actually for everybody else. 21st, yeah, everybody else is in 2021 anyway, so you, no matter which chargeability area you're from, you're definitely current already. So I'm assuming you're already documentarily qualified and you're just waiting for your interview to be scheduled. So you should be right around the corner somewhere, depending on how long you have been current, because F2A, it did not move 1 month every month. It was moving more. It's getting closer to becoming current back again, because it used to be current. So depending on how long you have been current, it means that how long you've been waiting for your interview to be scheduled. On average, whenever it comes to interviews to be scheduled, it's about year and a half people are waiting. But depending on which country you're from, depending on how busy US Embassy is in that country, it might be sooner than that, it might be a little bit later than that, but you are pretty close because you have been current for at least 6 months now, at least. All right, let's move on to the next one from Kalpana Pranavi 7355. Please, if possible, to make a video with the case in my scenario. It will be helpful. Please let me know what your scenario is. Need more information? I'm going to type in, and I will try to address it. Let me actually write out the response. Your comment has been answered. There you go. Alright, moving further to Kiki Johnson 3483. Good night. What happened if you file with USCIS and not with the court? However, I should file with the court. I have received notice and I did my biometric. When I check my case, it's saying case closed. Should I drop off the receipt notice at the court, or I should file all over again with the court? Okay, so that's the question posted on Understanding Asylum EAD clock. So I'm assuming you're referring to application for asylum or withholding of removal. So I'm not entirely sure what you mean by filing, with the court versus USCIS. It's all part of the same process. If your application is denied with USCIS, in that case, yes, you are appealing it to the court, and now it is transferred to the judicial system, and then you're going through the immigration court. It's a continuation of your asylum case, but if you do check back on the same receipt number on the same case with USCIS, yes, it will say that the case is closed with USCIS. Why? Because they already reviewed it, they denied it, and now it is with immigration court. But to answer your question, what happens with the court versus USCIS as far as the EAD clock, it is a similar scenario. While you have it with the court, it's a similar scenario. You are waiting for the same amount of time. There is an EAD clock as well when your case is pending with the court. And just like you could call, USCIS and find out the amount of time, the same way you can call through the immigration court and find out how much time you have left on your EAD clock as well. But if you want, let me know, clarify a little bit your comment, and I'll try to address it a little bit better. But it is part of the same process. So yes, it is correct that your case is showing closed with USCIS. It is fine. If you know for a fact that your case is with immigration court, then obviously you don't need to file it all over again, because yes, USCIS is going to be closed and then it's going to be going through the court. So it's a different system. It's going from, the USCIS, it's going to now immigration court. All right, let me post a response here, and we're going to move on further to pure 509 products. I'm filing for my kids to get their residence in the US. Some of them are here with me, and a few are back home. I have grandkids, some are under 18 years old, and some live here in the US. Should I file Form I-130 for each of my grandkids too? Because I want them to get their residence at the same time. Great question, thank you for asking. So no, you don't have to worry about filing. There is really no separate petitions that you need or that you even are able to file for grandchildren, because it's parental relationship. So parents, kids, parents, that's the petitions that you are limited to. And then of course there are siblings, the F4 category. But the good news is, because the grandkids are 18 and under 21 in general, once you petition for your children and once their petition is processed, they will be able to bring their kids as derivative beneficiaries. But the thing is that you need to keep in mind, and it's possible that it might be the case for some of the grandchildren that you have, because it sounds like you are US citizen, because you have some of the grandkids here, so it means you've been here for a while. I'm assuming you are already a naturalized US citizen. So you're petitioning for your children who already have kids, which tells me that most likely they are already married, they have their own families. So that means most likely your children are already 21, because your grandchildren are around 18 years old. So, which means that most likely they're going to be in F1 or F3 categories. Unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of US citizen, or married sons and daughters of US citizen who are obviously over 21. Which means that these process will take some time, and currently there is substantial amount of wait. As we look at the visa bulletin, it's about let's see, so for F1 it is about 9 years wait currently for the availability of the immigrant visa, and then for F3 it is about 14 years wait for the availability of the immigrant visa. So it's a substantial wait. So most likely the grandchildren are going to be aged out. So they're going to be over 21 by the time the immigrant visa is available for your children. Which means that once your children get their immigrant visas, they will have to file the separate petitions for their children, now your grandchildren, and then it's going to be the same amount. It's ridiculous, honestly. It's, I'm explaining this and I feel bad explaining this. I feel embarrassed explaining this, because this is what the system looks like for legal immigrants, for immigrants who come here. And there is no such thing as legal immigrants. There's only immigrants who are immigrated legally, not anybody else. This is what we have to deal with as immigrants who went through the process, who became, permanent residents, who became naturalized US citizens, and now we're, trying to reunite with our family. Even like in your case, some of your grandchildren are already here, and you want to petition them, and you obviously want to get the status for them. But this is what you have to deal with. Why? Because US Congress decided that this is the people that need to be limited on whenever it comes to the availability of the immigrant visas, the families of immigrants. So it's a little bit sad. So honestly, in your particular situation, I would definitely recommend to look at other avenues as well of becoming a permanent resident, of becoming naturalized. And yeah, if you are thinking about filing the I-130 for your children, don't wait. Do it as soon as possible, because it will, there is a substantial amount of time that is involved, even for US citizens petitioning for their children, unless they are under 21. If they're under 21, then we're talking about immediate relative category, which doesn't take nearly as long. But if they are over 21, if they are married, then yeah, we're looking at quite a long time of wait. All right, let's move on to the next one from Howard Dowling 38499 on the 8th. Not sure what it means, Howard. If you can clarify, please do. And then the user says hi. Hi. I'm gonna just put a heart on this, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Nira Amehta, sorry I'm mispronouncing, 4687. Hi there, I just discovered your channel. Your content is so helpful. I'm glad it is. 2 quick questions. My priority date on my I-130 is March 31st, 2014. Family-based F4 for siblings. When would my visa be available? My current citizenship is Canadian, that's question number 2, but country of birth is India. Which category in F4 would I look for my chargeability, India or Canada? Thanks in advance for your help. Nira, thank you very much for your question. Great questions. So I'll answer the second one first. It's going to be Canada because now you are living in Canada, and the chargeability area is going to be considered Canada because you will be going through the US Embassy in Canada, receiving your immigration visa, hopefully immigrant visa, hopefully soon. But let's take a look now at when it's going to be available now. You are in March 31st, 2014. Now F4, it does take quite a long time. And currently for all chargeability area, which is going to be the case for you because you're going to be going through Canada, it's July 2007. So July 2007 and you're March 2014. So roughly you have about 7 more years to wait before the availability of the immigrant visa. So there's quite a long time, and I can personally relate because I do have an F4, a petition in F4 as well for my brother. And I have about 13 more years, 13 and a half more years we have approximately to wait. So at this point, there is not much for you, to do. Just keep checking the visa bulletin every month. The new one comes out. I do have, once the new visa bulletin is available, every month I make a video on it and I compare it to the previous months for each category, for each chargeability area, to see where there is a movement, and if there is, whether it's good movement or negative movement. So far we've seen good movement in the past few months. Hopefully it stays that way, but yeah, at this point it's just checking the visa bulletin. All right, let's move on to the next one from Deacon Tipaji Boshar 80. Hello sir, my priority date was in March 2022. I'm documentarily qualified and was approved in July 2023. My husband is a US citizen and I'm from Liberia. How long will I wait for my immigrant interview? All right, so the good news is that since your husband is a US citizen, you are in immediate relative category. So your immigrant visa was available as soon as your USCIS petition was approved. So you're already documentarily qualified, and you were documentarily qualified almost a year ago. That means that you have been waiting for about a year now for your immigrant visa. Now, the US Embassy in Liberia, as far as I know, they don't seem to be as busy as everybody else. And in fact, no, I don't have anybody letting me know how long the wait time is in Liberia. So if anybody is from Liberia watching this video and they had their immigrant visa already scheduled, please let me know how long you waited. That would be very helpful. But on average right now, the countries that are not too heavy immigration flow, it seems to be between a year and a half. Now you're almost at a year. In about 2 months, you're gonna be at a year. So I would say most likely you're looking to have your interview by the end of this year. It is already scheduled. You just don't know it yet because they cannot announce the interview earlier than 30 days before the interview. So if your interview is scheduled for August 1st, 2024, you're not going to find out until July 1st, 2024. They do that so that you do your medical examination within the 30 days. Very rarely they announce it 60 days before, but most of the times it's 30 days. What you can do is you can reach out to US Embassy in Liberia and let them know that you are in immediate relative category, that you've been documentarily qualified since July 2023. You've been waiting almost a year for your interview now, and you wanted to see if they can tell you over the phone at least approximately how long you have to wait more, or if they can tell you the exact date when your interview was scheduled. Because over the phone, it's not an official announcement, so they can look in their scheduling system and your interview is already scheduled. It's been that long. It's definitely already scheduled. You just don't know it yet because it's not within the 30 days. So you can find the information. I'm gonna find it for you, and I'm gonna paste it in my response. So yeah, honestly, I mean, you can expect your interview scheduled anytime now or anytime by the end of the year, between now and the end of the year, again, depending on how busy the U.S. Embassy is in Liberia. There we go, Liberia. And I'm gonna post a response in the link for U.S. Embassy in Liberia. There we go, in Monrovia, and this is their phone number right here. Just be polite, be professional over the phone. If they tell you no, we can't give you that information, say it's okay, you know. No problems at all. Thank you for your help, and that's it. Don't be upset, because most of the times they don't give you any information. They just boilerplate over the phone, unfortunately. But it is worth a shot. And when you do get your interview scheduled, please come back to this channel and just post a comment saying, I'm from Liberia, immediate relative category, and I've been waiting for my interview for 10 months or 11 months before it was scheduled. I have the list going of all the countries, of people from the countries with whatever category, and how long they've been waiting for. And that is the best indicator, really, because it really is specific to the US Embassy in that country, how long the wait is, really specific. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Amir Pirsaoud. Hi sir, my priority date is 28/9, so September 28, 2017. My case F11, so F1, subcategory of F1, unmarried son with 2 kids. Sir, is 6 years now. My case is moved from USCIS to NVC. I get my case number and immigration visa number, but my case is not opening up to do payments yet. So you did not start your documentary qualification yet. My kids is 24 and 20 years old. What can I do to save them to be on paper? Please, for your advice, sir. God bless you. Amir, thanks so much for your kind comment and for your question. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin first and see how long approximately you have left. So you're F1, and I'm going to look at all chargeability area, but again, if you're from any of the other 4 countries that have separate chargeability areas, that's what you will be looking at. But for all chargeability, right now it is on July 2015, and you are in September 2017. So you have approximately 2 more years to wait before your immigrant visa becomes available. Before your documentary qualification, however, it is right now on September 2017. You are September 2017. Okay, so you are getting current in June. So next month, you will be current on graph B. So right around next month, so in the next month or 2, your NVC portal is going to be opening up. So you can start your documentary qualification. That is the good news, all right? That is the good news. So as of right now, I would recommend, there is a video on this channel that I've done showing the actual NVC portal, how it looks, and it was already documentarily qualified, and you can see which applications you need to fill out, which fees you need to pay, which documents you need to submit. In that video, I describe it all. So prepare as much as possible for when your NVC portal is going to be open, because it's going to happen in the next month or 2. It's really, really close. And if you're prepared, once it opens up in a few days, you can submit everything, become documentarily qualified, and then you have about 2 more years to wait before the availability of your immigrant visa. And that's not such a good news, because your children unfortunately will be aged out by then. So really, for you, what you can look at is other avenues for your children. And when I say other avenues, I'm talking about things like non-immigrant visas, student visas, exchange visas, exchange visitor, exchange worker, like J1, for example, or even just a visitor visa like B1, B2, so that you can have your kids come here with you and they can travel back and forth. It's not going to be easy. Once you get your immigrant visa, once you enter the country, you're already a permanent resident, so you can start petitions for your children as well. If they're not married, you can start, and they're going to be in F2B, so there's going to be a substantial amount of wait as well. It's not going to be easy, but that's what, that's unfortunately not a great news, and that's what you have to prepare for. And if you are prepared, if you are looking at other potential options for your children to immigrate, you will at least be prepared, But the good news is that in the next couple months, potentially right now in June, because we are still in May, so when we're looking at June 2024 visa bulletin, we are not there yet. We are not on these dates. This is going to be in June. In the next 7 days, we're going to be in June. So your NVC portal is going to be opening up, and you can start your documentary qualification process. So as much as prepared you are, if you can get your documentary qualification on the first submission, that's fantastic. All right, let's move on to the next one from, looks like a few comments from user, unfortunately no name. So hello, good day, F2A, priority date December 2019, documentarily qualified February 2022. My priority date was already current last February 2024. Perfect. How long can I wait for my interview to be scheduled? I'm from the Philippines. Thank you. Okay, so great news is that yes, you are already current, and you have been current now for about 3-4 months, which is great. Your interview most likely is already scheduled. Not so good news is that Philippines is one of the countries, well, they have a separate chargeability area for a reason. It's because the immigration numbers are heavier from Philippines. And as far as I know, from people commenting who are from Philippines, who've been waiting for their interview to be scheduled, the wait is about 2 years, 2 and potentially 2.5 years for the interview to be announced, really, not scheduled, after your priority date becomes current. And I say scheduled, announced, because they schedule the interviews pretty quick. Once your immigrant visa is available, they schedule the interview pretty quickly. The reason why you're waiting is because this interview is scheduled a year, year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years, depending on how busy the US Embassy is. And you will not know, you will be waiting all this time not knowing when your interview is scheduled, because they only announce the interview 30 days before the date it was scheduled, which is annoying. Honestly, there is a conversation actually from the Department of State that they're gonna change this, and instead of 30 days, they're gonna change it to 6 months, which is a lot better, honestly. I would rather sit and wait for, unknowing, and 6 months, and honestly, they could have just announced it as soon as they schedule it. Like, yeah, I cannot get my medical exam up until 30 days, doesn't matter, but what's so wrong with just knowing that your interview is scheduled? I'd rather wait for 2 years knowing that my interview was scheduled 2 years ahead than be in the dark for 2 years. But that's the rules. Unfortunately, I don't make them, so what do I know? And then Erica Ashley says, we are the same, waiting for so long. Are you from Philippines? Yes. Anybody from Africa, F2A visa. So yeah, again, I'm gonna encourage everyone, if you had your interview scheduled, please let me know on this channel. I have a list of countries going. So far I only have Nairobi, Kenya, and Jamaica. That's it. So for Walter on Changa, depending on where you're from Africa in F2A, I have information for Nairobi and Kenya for immediate relative category. And it was just over 1 year they were waiting for the immigrant visa to be scheduled in immediate relative category, which is very similar to F2A. Most likely it's going to be about the same. So depending on where you are again in Africa, Nairobi, Kenya, about 1 year. So I'm gonna post a response here as well to yours, which didn't put your name in there, but I'm gonna put respond and not to my own. Let me edit this at Walter. There you go. All right, let's move on to the next comment from Rohit Raj Shukla. Rohit, thank you very much for being publicly subscribed to this channel. This is what this icon means. So Rohit says, my priority date in June 2010 for F3 India. but I have not received welcome letter yet. Can you please tell me when do I receive the letter? Okay, let's take a look at the visa bulletin, see what's going on. So we're looking at the graph B because we're waiting for the NVC portal opening up. So F3 for India right now is on September 2010. So people with the priority dates back in September 2010, they are now, as of June, they will have their NVC portals open up. And you're in June 2010, so you were before. So you're already, you should be you should be current because you're in June 2010. And as of June, let me take a look at the previous, because maybe in May there was a movement in May. Let's take a look. Ah, I see. So yes, looks like there was a movement on graph B. So in May, we are looking at June 2010, and you are in June 2010. So depending on when in June you are, I mean, you should have had it open up already in May, but there is still time. So I would give it another month, because on the June 2024 visa bulletin, and that's what we're going to be looking at in about 7 days, because we're still in May and we are still technically looking, because you're so close, we're still looking at the May visa bulletin, and it is on June right now. But let's give it a little bit more time, because on June visa bulletin, you will definitely be current by far, because there is a substantial movement, looks like, for India and for all chargeability area as well. But I would give it till the mid of June, till the middle of June, like June 15th. And if your NVC portal is still not open, I would recommend reaching out directly to the NVC through their public inquiry, and I will show you how to do it. I'll give you the link. But you are like right there. The only reason why we are dealing with this is because you are so close, and there was substantial movement, as you can see on the visa bulletin. So let me double check something else, just to be sure. So it moved to September 2010. Yes, a definitely positive movement, because it moved from June to July, August, September. So 3 months positive movement. So let me post a response here, and I'm gonna give you the link directly for the public inquiry form. But for everyone, if you need to reach out to the NVC, the easiest way to do it is, not the easiest way, the only way to do it is through travel.state.gov, but the easy way to do it is through this page right here that you can find in the description below. Just click on Contact Us at the very top. I'm going to open it in the new tab, and then scroll down, and you will see US Visas Contacts right here. Click on this and scroll down a little bit more, and then in the first row of this table you will see Email Public Inquiry Form. So click on this, scroll down a little bit more, and then you will see Online Immigrant Visa Inquiries Only Public Inquiry Form. So click on Public Inquiry Form, and there you go. So Rohit, what you're gonna do is you're gonna paste, if you most likely already have the NVC case number, because you most likely received the initial letter from the NVC. It's just the portal is not open. So you can log in, but there's nothing in there. You cannot pay the fees, you cannot submit the documents. So if you have the NVC case number, that's what you enter. If you don't have it yet, you will enter the USCIS receipt number. Principal applicant's full name is going to be beneficiary's full name, so your name, your full name. Principal applicant's date of birth, your date of birth, beneficiary's date of birth. Petitioner's full name is going to be petitioner, who petitioned for you. Who are you? In this case, going to be principal applicant, so you are beneficiary. Your email address, and then in your inquiry below, you can just let them know your category, that you're already current on the visa bulletin. Once you are current in June, in 7 days, you will be current, 7 or 8 days. And then just ask them, let them know that, hey, I wanted to follow up, see what's going on, see approximately when my NVC portal is going to be opening up. And NVC is pretty quick to respond. I'm going to copy this link and I'll paste it to my response here. they're pretty quick to respond to these inquiries. Like in some cases they take it as long as like 3 days to respond, but a lot of times be prepared that they respond with a boilerplate response, like, oh, you know, we're just waiting for the visa bulletin to become current, and that's really it, which is nothing new, unfortunately. But it's still worth a shot to kind of give them a nudge, to show them that you are on top of the case, you are paying attention to the visa bulletin, you know that you are becoming current and you are already current or whatever, or you were current for an amount of time, just to let them know, just in case if there is some kind of discrepancy with your case, you want to bring it up and you don't want to just leave it on the back shelf and be it on autopilot. We don't want to do that. So hopefully you found my answers helpful, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you have any additional questions, just drop them in the comments below. Just make sure not to respond to my comment within your comment, because YouTube does not show me notification for those. Just submit it as a separate comment and I will be able to see it on this wall, and I'll try to address it in the further volumes. So again, thank you everyone for watching. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.